Imagine your daughter is in college to be a nurse and she's fallen in love with a man. She then decides to convert to ISIS, changes her name, and disappears. Then years later, you see her on TV, but she's in Afghanistan prison. Welcome to another episode of Jazzyxcrime. This is the case of the Kerela story. On May 5th, 2023, a Hindi drama movie was released in India called The Kerela Story. The movie is about 3 women in college in the state of Kerala who are roommates and they grow a friendship together. It tells a story of Hindu and Christian women who were manipulated by men pretending to pursue them for an intimate relationship and then persuaded these naive women to join ISIS group, later trafficking them or leaving them buried in the desert. This movie is in Hindi language and marked as a true story to bring awareness to 32,000 women that have fell in love with Islam men, stopped talking to their family, and just disappeared. The low-budget film was doing really well and has made millions of dollars. I mean, everyone is watching this movie simply out of curiosity because of the uproar it has caused. And by uproar, I mean legally. Critics and activists are mad because they are saying this movie is actually not based on a true story, and the producer is only trying to stir up trouble and cause hate against Islam, as if people don't already fear them enough. The movie shows a white beard man instructing young men to manipulate the college girls to fall in love with them, and he orders them to marry them and even get them pregnant if need be, to get them to convert and join ISIS. Critics labeled the movie custom made to spread hate and to trigger Islamophobia, saying it is inaccurate information that 32 women have disappeared, and they want proof of 32,000 families saying their loved ones has been brainwashed by ISIS. At the theater, Islam activist Shakeel Afsar interrupted the movie with shouting and yelling, telling civilians not to watch it because there is no evidence to prove this is right, and this movie was only created to cause division. And
this film has been directly affected. I have people in the crowd. This is BJP, RSS, Hindutva propaganda. This is lies. We will not accept this type of propaganda. Modi, Narendra Modi will not hold the G20 summit in Indian occupied Kashmir. Brothers and sisters, my name is Shakeel Afsar, Kashmir Liberation Organization. I will stand till every single man. If we do not stand for the plight of our people, who will? Your members of parliament? No. Your representatives? No. We must take the ground. This is a Hindu brother. I have told him we have lived together. Listen, I have lived with Hindus all my life. I have lived with Hindus all my life. All my life. It's freedom of expression. My dear brothers and sisters, you can see that we have lived coexisting with Hindus, we have coexisted with atheists, with Sikhs for many years. This film by the Narendra Modi and the BJP, Hindutva RSS, has been made to divide us.
He was interrupting their movie to open their eyes to the intent behind the movie before a war really begins due to division. The audience shouted back at him, demanding him to leave, but he was not leaving until they turned the movie off, and he spoke to a manager for fueling Islamophobic. This is the same man that protested against LGBT teachings at a school and got banned from the United Kingdom courts. Shakeel has done interviews appearing on TV and protesting about this movie's false allegation.
We have no issue with people watching the film. Our issue is the fact that the false propaganda, the false narrative that it perpetuates, the film starts with the fact of it saying it's based on true events. The film had its whole trailer removed because of the unfactual data of 32,000 girls.
The 32,000 figure is, of course, highly disputed. The fact that young women are trafficked by some extremist Islamic groups and have been involved in the wars in Syria and elsewhere cannot be denied.
It cannot be done. Like the same way the right-wing activists who are shooting up people in schools, the right-wing activists who have their beliefs, you will have terrorism in every community. You will have, violence in every community.
The director of the movie has also been on many interviews stating he just wanted to bring awareness to the 3 girls who are in fact missing, and he knows for sure fell in love with men who were assigned to make women fall in love with them, marry them, impregnate them, convert them over to ISIS, and then traffic them. Here recently, at the time of this recording, India's Supreme Court ordered the filmmakers to add a disclaimer in the beginning that says the film is fictionalized version of events and that there is no data to back its claim. However, according to the U.S. State Department's country reports on terrorism in 2020, there was for sure 66 Indian origin fighters affiliated with ISIS. And in 2021, India's National Investigation Agency said it had arrested 168 people connected to 37 cases of terror attacks, conspiracies, and funding inspired by ISIS. Critics are focused on the number 32,000 instead of focusing on these women converting to ISIS and then disappearing. If it was 32,000 or just 32 women, the movie was created to bring awareness to wrongdoing. But critics like the minister of the state of Kerela is calling the movie fake and was designed to carry on negative stereotypes towards Muslims. The filmmakers are proud of their work and standing proud in honor of doing their nation a service. Numbers don't lie. In less than 2 weeks, the Kerela story has become the 2nd biggest success film of the year in India, despite critics saying it's a propaganda film that is only thriving because it leaves the audience in shock, which it does. But supporters are saying, I recently watched the Kerela story and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. It's a thought-provoking film that tackles the sensitive issue of ISIS recruitment from Kerala. I must say it was quite courageous of the filmmakers to dwell into such a controversial topic. The movie does an excellent job of raising awareness about the dangers of protest and how it impacts communities. It sheds light on the methods used by extremist groups to manipulate vulnerable individuals, and it humanizes the victims, showing the struggles faced by families and communities affected by radicalization. Radicalization is when you isolate someone from their family or their religion with the intent to change their views and beliefs. What's impressive is that the Kerala story manages to maintain a balanced approach. It not only highlights the issue of ISIS recruitment, but also portrays the cultural heritage and traditions of Kerala. So it personally makes me wonder, why is Shakeel going so hard to fight against this movie to stop people from watching when it's actually causing more attention to the movie, making people go watch it? People who love the movie is saying, I appreciated the film, didn't glorify or sensationalize the topic. Instead, it offered a critical examination of the political factors that contribute to vulnerabilities. It prompts important discussions and helps us understand the underlying reasons behind these issues. The filmmakers can possibly be facing charges for the words 32,000 women opposed to saying 3 women, because the filmmakers has agreed to remove the teaser, which gave the example of 32,000 women, and they also changed the description on YouTube to the compilation of the true stories of 3 young girls from different parts of Kerala. Let me ask you, do you think with the Islams being this mad, do you think that it is true, or they have more to hide? Or are they fed up with people hating and fearing them, and they're actually standing up against false claims? Now, before you answer, you should know that even though the movie has been banned in Kerala, the main character actually exists. Her name is Nimisha. Given that she was pursuing a degree in medicine, Nimisha had a bright future ahead of her. After falling in love right before she left India, Nimisha converted to Islam and changed her name to Fathima Issa. In 2016, she had a place with a Hindu family in Kerala and told her family that she was pregnant and her husband was moving to Sri Lanka, which is a country next to India, not knowing she had joined ISIS until later in 2019. And as soon as Nimisha's family saw a picture of her in prison in Afghanistan, they immediately contacted the Indian government to help save her. So come to find out, they put her in prison after her husband was killed. But when the Indian government attempted to rescue her, once they realized that Nimisha had completely devoted herself to ISIS, they could no longer help since she turned against her country.
My Indian government, because if she has done anything wrong to my country, let her go through my Indian law. That is the main thing I was suggesting from last 4.5 years. And once if she is deported here, I can take over my granddaughter also. Otherwise, she will be that daughter is also becoming a prey.
There's another woman who experienced the same thing, but she had more discernment and got a weird feeling about the man who was pursuing a intimate relationship with her.
Their role, they played very well. They slowly learned about me, my character, my views, everything. And slowly they injected their religion into my brain.
She was saying even she was confused about her own religion and didn't feel satisfied with the explanation her parents had gave her. But the man that was pursuing her, he was very patient with her and teaching her about Islam, so she had a better understanding of ISIS versus her own religion. They do not like it when women ask questions about their religion, so her family really didn't explain much, which is what made her feel more comfortable about joining ISIS. This story is really buzzing in India, and I hope we can bring more awareness in United States for these 3 or 32,000 women that have disappeared. To see more gang-related cases, click right here. To subscribe so that you never miss another case, then click right here. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode of Jazzy Times Crime.